All right, good morning. Just going to give a few minutes for people to join. I've actually got a plow beside me. I don't know if you can hear that, but hopefully, can you hear me okay? Someone let me know in the comments. Okay, great. All right, good morning. All right, let's get started. Okay, so this is the first kind of, I don't know. It's not a huge snowfall, but it's enough of a snowfall that I think I can get away with the first snowfall live stream. Before we get started, I want to go over some tips for some of the new Tesla owners out there. This might be their first winter. So I'm just going to go over a few things and then we'll just go for a nice drive. It's one of those kind of really cool snowfall where it sticks to the trees and whatnot. So it should be a nice little drive. We'll chat a little bit and yeah, and that's what I have planned for today. So thank you very much for joining me this morning. All right, so for new Tesla owners, let me turn off the signal here. Uh, so a couple of things that you need to know when it's wintertime. And one of them is if you look here, you will not have full regen on your brakes. So that's one of the things that you have to get used to. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes what that means. But basically, all summer long, you've been used to taking your foot off the accelerator and the car, coming to a fairly decent, quick stop, if you will. And in the wintertime, you'll notice that when you first start driving, when you take your foot off the accelerator, it's going to feel kind of like an old school like ICE vehicle, but a little bit worse in terms of there's very little stopping power when you take your foot off the accelerator when the car is cold. So I'm going to show that to you as we go for a drive. A couple of settings here that you might want to look at when you are doing your first winter in a Tesla. Let's see here. I'm going to go to driving here. And you'll notice that there's some settings here, acceleration, so you've got standard and chill. If it was a really bad snow, like if it was snow covered right now, I might set it to chill because that would kind of settle down the amount of horsepower and torque and whatnot. It might be easier to get started in deep snow. We won't need to do that today, although it is a little bit icy out. The other setting here that I just want to show you guys is the regenerative braking. So I keep mine on standard, and I find that it works really well. However, if you do have icy conditions, you could put the regenerative to low, meaning when you take your foot off the pedal, you're not going to get as much stopping power. But on ice, that might be something that you prefer. So there are some settings here that you can play with. Slip start is another one. So if you find yourself, for example, in deep snow or stuck on a hill or something like that, and you want to help free the vehicle, so kind of similar to what you might have done in an older, vehicle, like with your foot on and off the accelerator or, doing things like that. But basically it'll like, I don't know, kind of like a posi traction thing, right? So it'll spin one tire or the other and try to get you out of whatever you're stuck in. Now I do have winter tires on, so just so that you guys know, and I do recommend winter tires if you live anywhere where you get an appreciable amount of snow, especially if you have the rear wheel drive version of the Tesla Model 3 like I do. So okay, that's it. That's kind of the opening introduction. Let's get started. Now we can see the snow plow there. I'm not sure it was really required today, but they got to spend taxpayer money, right? Okay, we're going to head out this way. There's hardly ever any traffic on this road, so I'm just going to show you a few things. So one is I'm going to take my foot off the accelerator, and you'll see that the regen is very low, and it's actually coming to a stop a lot slower than it otherwise would, which is good because it is, kind of icy, especially on this road here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you what happens in these kind of conditions if you hammer it. Let's see what happens. So I can feel the tires slipping, and I can feel the the Tesla's traction control system kicking in. And it actually is quite icy here, but it's very cool that the Tesla traction control system, I did a video last year in the winter, it is outstanding. And matter of fact, one of the videos I did on this hill, and I stopped halfway up in a huge amount of snow. I actually got stuck for a little bit, but using the Tesla traction control, I was able to get started and get back up the hill. But I can feel the wheels slipping here as we go up the hill, but I haven't really laid off the accelerator or anything like that. The traction control system just handles it quite nicely. And as you can see, like I said, it's kind of like a really beautiful, like, light snowfall where it sticks to the trees. It's kind of one of those, Mother Nature saying, hey, winter is coming. Not to use a Game of Thrones term, but winter is coming. Okay, so I'm going to just dial it back a little bit here because it is feeling very slippery out. This road here has not received any salt yet, I don't believe. So it's kind of sheer ice. I'm going to step on the brakes just to see. There's no one behind me, by the way. So the anti-lock braking system and the traction control work very well to keep you in a straight line. That being said, you don't want to be making any sudden maneuvers like any other car in the wintertime. Got a school bus here. All right, so on this slippery stuff, there's no one behind me. I'm just going to hammer it again just to see how the car behaves on this very icy road here. So hammering it, you can see that the traction control is on. I'm still hammering it. My foot's like right down. So, very, very stable. There's no feeling like the car is going to take off in any direction. And again, like any other vehicle, you got to make sure that you're not doing any weird maneuvers when you're doing something like that. But I wouldn't normally hammer it on roads like this that are this icy, but I really just want to demonstrate the amazing traction control system that Tesla has put together here on this vehicle. Okay, so it looks like there is some sand here that's been laid down, which is good. I'm going to make a left and we'll go further out into the country. The roads will probably be a little bit more snow covered. It might be a little bit more interesting. Okay, it looks like I lost my... Not sure if I lost my cellular connectivity or not, but that's the problem with going too far out into the country. It's still in 2019, right? You think you would have full cellular coverage everywhere. Okay, so that means that we're gonna go this way instead. Okay, so we're back on a mainstream road here. So it's -2 degrees out, which is territory to run into black ice and stuff like that. However, this road would have been salted and sanded, I'm sure. So welcome to the town of Innisfil. I don't mind the winter that much. I mean, I hate when it's really cold, but snow doesn't bother me. Let me know what you think in the comments, but you know, kind of like winter. Not too much winter. I mean, when it goes on for 6 months, that kind of sucks, but you know, it's not bad, right? And sometimes it's fun to go out there for a drive in the wintertime like this. You know, it looks pretty fresh, kind of like a renewed, I don't know, the air is nice and crisp outside. There's definitely some things to like about it. All right, so again, you'll notice that regen is very low. I had to actually hit the brakes there to slow down. We're in a 50-kilometer zone now. And then after a while of driving, and this again for the new Tesla owners out there, your battery will warm up and you will see these dots turn solid and you'll get your regen back. But again, on snow, this type of stuff, you just want to make sure you're always in control of the vehicle. When you take your foot off the accelerator, if you do have full regen and you're on ice, you know, just, you know, pay attention to what the temperature is, and just like you would any other car in the wintertime, just, you know, be safe out there. Okay, this is kind of pretty. We're driving through a town called Thornton right now. Just to give you some context, we're about, I'd say, roughly 80 kilometers north of downtown Toronto. So quite far from, you know, big major city. And so up here, it's very quaint, very quiet. We get a lot more snow up here than in Toronto. I've seen some other live stream first winter drive, you know, from the Toronto area, which, yeah, there really wasn't any snow. So at least there's something up here, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go out. I know that there's good cell signal down over here, so we're just going to go further out into the country in this direction, and hopefully we can hit some more snow-covered roads. I can do some more demos for people who have just joined the live stream. Earlier I had done some demos about from a standing start, from, you know, slamming the brakes on snow-covered or icy-covered roads. And we'll do another set of those tests again for people who may have joined the live stream late. And again, I know there's a lot of Tesla owners out there who have already been through a winter. If you have, maybe you can share some of your learnings in the comments section in the live stream here. And for new owners, I'm going to do more demonstrations of winter driving in a Tesla. Alright, so coming up here, we're going to make a right, and we're going to get off the main roads here. So again, with my foot off the accelerator, there isn't much regen right now. So you have to plan a little bit differently if you don't want to use your brakes. You have to take your foot off the accelerator earlier. All right, so here, like you can see, we're getting into some icier conditions. There's no one behind me. I'm just slamming on the brakes here. You can see it is quite icy out. Now I'm going to hammer it, and we can see the traction control. I'm showing this again. Whoops, we just hit some. Okay, I'm going to dial it back here. this car coming. So, okay. So what happened there is that you've got the traction control system that's preventing you from kind of flying out of control. But then I hit a kind of a dry patch of road, and then I accelerated. So I'm doing this stuff to show you guys. I would not normally drive like this. This would be called driving like an idiot. But again, you know, I think it's very important for especially new Tesla owners to have some information about how their car is going to handle in this stuff, so that you're ready, right? Okay, let's keep going this way. Okay, there's no one behind me again. I'm just going to do another brake test. And the ABS works fantastic. The car doesn't feel like it's going to pull either way. Again, I'm going to hammer it. You can see the traction control is on. Taking my foot off the accelerator now. The car handles and controls very well in these conditions. Now, obviously, you're not going to push it and make sudden maneuvers like you know, turning the steering wheel. Never do that on ice. It doesn't matter what car you're driving. You got a good chance of flying into the ditch there. But on normal, you know, straightaways, you know, to be on and off the accelerator, you're going to be okay. Just like I said, be safe out there. The car has these great traction control systems in it, but you never really want to push your luck if you don't have to, right? Okay, this is kind of pretty. It's that time of morning where we've got a lot of school buses out, so obviously I'm looking out for that. You know, you want to be careful around school buses. You know, the safety of kids obviously is probably the most important thing when you're out on a morning like this, and it's you know, everybody's off to school and whatnot. Okay, actually there's no one behind me. It's a little bit of a hill, so I'm going to stop here and I'm going to accelerate. And again, the traction control system is kicking in. I've got the foot pedal to the metal. Okay, now we're hitting some dry stuff and it takes off. But again, very well controlled. If you have any questions, if you put them in the comments, what I'll do later, because you can't actually respond to comments afterwards from the live stream, but I will go into the video afterwards, and you can make comments just like any other video that's posted, and I'll try to answer questions if anybody has any. So just go back to the video later after it's posted, and you can look through the comments. If you had a question, there's a good chance I will have answered it. Super icy right here. Got a stopped vehicle ahead. That's an interesting place to stop, right on the edge of a hill. I think I saw a car down there too. So yeah, look, see, there's a car coming. Okay. All right, nice one, dude. Nice one. What do you think? Do I give this guy the finger? No, I'm just kidding. I'm Canadian. I'm too nice. I'm not going to give the guy the finger. I will give him a dirty look, though. All right. Yeah, this stretch of road here has a lot of hills and dips in it. There's no one behind me. Now, actually, I'm not going to do it here. This is This is kind of treacherous, but normally normally I hammer it, but if you look at -3 here, it's like perfect for black ice in this section. Okay, I see a school bus up ahead. I'm dialing it way back now. Kind of very icy there, very icy. Okay, I'm back on a main, main highway here. Notice that I still do not have a lot of regen. We've been driving for, I don't know, must be 20-25 minutes now at this point. In these kind of colder temperatures, it will take you a while. In fairness, this morning when I saw the snow, I wanted to go out and do a live stream, and I didn't precondition the battery. So if you, under no conditions, and again, a tip for new Tesla owners, I'm just gonna stop here for a moment. And a tip for new Tesla owners is that in the morning, before you go to work, for example, if you turn on the heat in the vehicle about a half an hour before you leave, sometimes 45 minutes, depending on how cold it is, that will help to precondition the battery, and you should recapture your regenerative braking much sooner than if you didn't precondition your battery. Plus, you get into a nice toasty vehicle, which is always nice. In the app, you can control this. Obviously, you know that by now. You can turn on your seat warmers. It's always nice to get into a toasty car when it's cold out. All right, so that's basically it. Like I said, I will go back in and look at any questions that people had, and I'll post answers when the video is up. And thank you very much for joining me this morning. I always appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Tesla Canuck, over and out.